out there tonight, man? How's everybody doing tonight, guys? What's going on with y'all, man? Tuesday night, we in the building, man. How everybody doing tonight, man? We in the building tonight, man. My name is Aaron. I go by the name of Aaron Real Talk. Thank you guys for joining my live on YouTube, man. I appreciate y'all rocking out with your boy, man. I appreciate it, man. How's everybody doing tonight? How's y'all beginning of your week been going for you, man? Let me know. Let me know where you from in the comments too. Y'all let me know. So tonight, guys, we're gonna be discussing, do therapists create family estrangement? Do they help create family estrangement? That's what I want to talk about tonight. I did a video a couple days ago on the whole video. It was based off of an article I read on the Wall Street Journal. And the article was about, a lot of, hold on, I'm turn this down. A lot of estrangement has been brought to the attention from therapists. And so people start to question, do therapists have anything to do with the current pandemic of estrangement with adult children and their parents? I want to talk about it tonight, man. If you've dealt with that in the past or you're dealing with it now, just say you put your child in some type of therapy and all of a sudden you run into these type of situations where the therapist has told your child you need to go no contact from your parent. You know what I mean? Have anybody dealt with that? Have you seen that? I know it's been big on the internet the last few days. A lot of parents have been talking about it. A lot of people have been talking about it, trying to figure out what's really going on, right? For one thing, I look at it and I say to myself, whenever I think about the situation, I can see it happening because I look at it like this. Just say the first thing, whenever you and your child start having issues, first thing people say, you need to go to therapy, right? And a lot of times when you start off going to therapy, they do one session with each person by themselves. And then they'll get you guys joint therapy, later on, right? But they want to get the first therapy session by themselves. Get a chance to know that person, let them be transparent, and then you kind of go from there. But I was reading an article, and what threw me off, a lady in the article was saying after the second therapy session, that a therapist told her to cut off her mother. That's what threw me off. I was like, after 2 therapy sessions, your therapist told you to cut off your mother. After 2. How could you get that type of intel and information on 2 therapy sessions? That's what threw me off. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how in the world could a therapist take that information, 2 therapy sessions, and say, you know what? Yeah, you need to cut your mom off. That's your problem right there. That's what threw me off, right? And she said the therapist was kind of aggressive with it, authority, showing the therapist was showing their authority and letting the mom know and letting the daughter know that, hey, you need to cut off your mom. That threw me off. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? What's up, JC? That threw me off right there. I was like, how the hell a therapist after 2 sessions is gonna tell the adult child you need to cut off your mom, right? Do y'all think that goes on a lot? Do you think therapists, when they're dealing with estrangement or dealing with no contact, can you see them just saying, you know what, fuck it, cut them off? Can y'all see that? Can y'all imagine that? I'm trying to think to myself, I know whenever I was going through estrangement, me and my child, we both went to therapy. And I tell people all the time, man, the key to therapy is finding a good therapist, right? You got to do some work when you're looking for a therapist. All therapists aren't equal. You know what I'm saying, y'all? They are not all equal. So figuring that aspect out and finding the right therapist to help you deal with your estrangement it's like, for me, it was one of the best decisions that we made dealing with my whole situation with my child. Going to therapy, figuring out some of the issues she had, some of the issues I had, right? So, but I was reading that article and it just made me, I'm like, after 2 sessions with my therapist, it was really on the lines of the therapist was really just getting to know us a little bit better, right? It wasn't hey, this is how we're going to resolve the situation. The therapist was really just trying to get a chance to know me, trying to figure out how I was thinking, how I was raised, my upbringing, all that type of stuff. Two therapy sessions, and this therapist told this adult child to cut her mother off. right? She told the adult child to cut her mother off after the second therapy session. The second one. Come on, man. Come on. Right? So to me, I asked you guys a question tonight, man. Have you guys ever experienced that while dealing with your no contact or estrangement? You know what I'm saying? Have you dealt with that aspect of it? That's just mind boggling to me. How can somebody with a license, right? You go to a therapy, you go to a therapist, you're trying to fix your mental situation, your issues you got going on at home, and the first thing they say, you know what? Just need to cut their ass off. Cut the parents off, cut your mom off. She toxic. She only heard one side of the story. She didn't hear the mother's version of the story. She heard one side of the story and said, cut your mom off. That's what you're gonna do. To me, that's lazy work. That's lazy work. You know what I'm saying? That's lazy work. That's easy work right there. You just say, you know what, just be done with them. And I think when you start thinking about estrangement, to me, that's one of the biggest issues. A lot of times people don't want to put in the work. They don't want to put in the work, right? I've had parents reach out to me and said their children will not go to therapy, right? They don't want to go to therapy. I had adult children tell me their parents aren't interested in going to therapy with them. How do you expect to get better? How do you expect to get better if you can't go to a therapist, a good therapist, and get some type of mediation in between you guys and figure out what's really the issue? Is it a lack of communication, a lack of understanding? What really is the issue, right? A lot of us parents, we so old school, we don't want to do therapy. We so old school, we can fix ourselves. We don't need help. We can fix ourselves. And y'all know, like I know, that's a damn lie. Right? That's a damn lie. Y'all know damn well we need therapy. We need help. Right? But a lot of us are so stuck on that old school way of thinking. What's going on, gamer kid? We don't want to do therapy. We just be like, man, you know what? I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. That's what's wrong with a lot of parents. And I challenge you guys to change that narrative. Man, switch that shit up. Switch it up. Damn it. We seen how our parents were, and let's be real. A lot of our parents was fucked off. A lot of them was fucked off. You know what I'm saying? Let's go, Bills. Hey, hold on. Hey, look, gamer kid, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a Cowboys fan, so I ain't with all that old Bill. I do like Josh Allen though. But y'all know what I mean? A lot of our parents was messed off, man, because they didn't believe in doing no type of therapy, right? So when you look at the situation with no contact and estrangement, you say to yourself, right? How? How can we get better? How can a parent get better? How can a child get better? Sometimes you guys got to come to the common ground and say, we can't fix this on our own. How can we fix it then, man? We need somebody to come between and tell us and talk to us about our strengths, our weaknesses, and how can we move forward, right? How can we move forward, and what does that look like? I know there's some parents out there that are like, shit, I don't want to move forward. I'm good. Hey, you already know it. What's up, Sarah? What's going on? Hey, look, gamer kid, Dak is the man. Stop tripping, man. Put some respect on Dak now. We're going to Super Bowl this year. Y'all better stop playing, man. He the man. But you know what I mean? So for a lot of us parents, by destroying all, what's going on, man? I tell a lot of parents, man, I say this a lot. You know, we got to get better in understanding. We have to change up a little bit of the ways that we were brought up from our parents. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that old school way of thinking is what's holding us back. We got to switch that shit up. We got to switch it up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got to switch it up, gamer kids. We don't want to, I tell parents this all the time, man. We don't want to, when we look at our children, we say they spoiled and they entitled, right? Some of that may be true. But we also got to look at ourselves and see, hey, we got a lot of trauma and a lot of shit that we've never dealt with coming up. You know, a lot of the ways that our parents raised us, I think, caused a lot of issues with some of our children nowadays, right? Because we were raised that hardcore tough love. Toughen up. Toughen up. You better not cry. You better not cry. You got to be tough. Tough as nails. So we really don't have a whole lot of sympathy for any damn thing. You know what I'm saying, gang? We don't have a whole lot of sympathy for any damn thing. So the children, they struggle with that aspect. And we raising a different generation right now. We're raising a different generation. We are not the same as our children. We grew up, you got to be hard. You got to do this. You got to do that. Don't talk back. Don't say nothing. Your opinion don't matter. Right? We had the utmost respect for our parents. The utmost respect. Your parents can tell you to get your ass out there and pick up trash out there in the heat, and you was going to do it. These children are different. These children are different. And I say that because a lot of parents be like, well, I ain't changing shit. What you see is what you get. I ain't changing shit. Right? That's what they say. And I get that to a certain extent because we got to adapt with the times. We got to adapt with the times. Think about it, y'all. Shit, when we grew up, you didn't have no damn cell phone. You had that little Skyline pager. Now you didn't adapt it to the cell phone. You didn't adapt it to social media. Right? Y'all remember everybody had a home phone. Y'all remember that? Everybody used to have a home phone. You go over somebody's house now, ain't nobody got no damn home phone. So sometimes you got to adapt to the times. You have to adapt to the times, and a lot of us parents struggle with that. We struggle with the aspect of we stuck in our ways, we stubborn as shit, and we ain't adapting to shit. What you see is what you get. I ain't kissing your ass. I ain't doing none of that. What you see is what you get, right? That's the way we look at everything. And I just think sometimes we need to take a deep look into our situation, right? And say to ourselves, man, are we tripping? Are we tripping? Now, don't get me wrong. There are some adult children who are just total, and they're entitled, they're spoiled, all of that shit. But one thing I can tell you when I went to therapy, yes, we memorized 30 plus phone numbers. Hey, come on, man. Hey, Stan, we used to do all of that, man. You know what I mean? That's how we were brought up and that's how we raised. But like I say, we dealing with a different generation. We're dealing with a different generation. We're dealing with people who grew up with cell phones, who grew up with social media, who grew up with an opinion. Stan, we didn't have no opinion. If your mama and daddy told you to go in there and change your clothes, damn it, you was going to have to change your damn clothes. It wasn't no arguing. It wasn't no saying, I'm going to put this outfit on. Bullshit. You finna go put that damn outfit on, I told you, or I'm going to hit you in your damn mouth. You know what I'm saying? Gamer says, I have learned that I must respect my kids even though they're 100%. Yeah, and look, Gamer, think about something too, man. A lot of the issues we see with our children. I had my first Facebook at 16. You see what I'm saying, Cat? That's a whole different... Look, Cat, shit, hey, look, I still don't know how to work Facebook. Shit, I had a whole MySpace. Dan, I know you remember MySpace. I had a whole damn MySpace. You know what I'm saying? Like Gamer Kid said, I have learned that I must respect my kids even though they're spoiled. But Gamer Kid, let me ask you something. Who spoiled them? Who spoiled them? You know what I mean, bro? Like, we spoiled them. We did that to them. We created a lot of the monsters that we dealing with. 100%. Me too. Hey, brother, don't feel bad because I did the same shit. We spoiled the shit out of them. Game, you know what we did? Our parents didn't give us a voice to speak. So we gave our children a voice to speak. Right? We gave our children a voice to speak, and now we like, holy shit, we created a damn monster. We created a monster. How the hell we deal with this? But we spoiled them. We wanted to give them what our parents didn't give us, right? We wanted to give them material things. We wanted to be extra affectionate. We wanted to say, you know what? You got a voice. You can speak up. You can talk. You can do this. We're going to give you all of that, right? Look, the cat said she had a Nokia phone in 2007. You know what I'm saying, Gamer? We that's what we did. That's what we wanted to do. But now we look back and we say, man, we gave them all that shit and they turning that shit against us. It's like, hey, you created this monster, right? You created this monster. But I learned, man, like through therapy, I have learned that, you got to look at every situation. Every child is different. Every household is different. I had to reevaluate myself. You know what I'm saying? I got a reckless ass mouth. I'm going to be real with y'all. There's one thing the therapist told me, man, going to therapy, she was just like, you got to learn to communicate better. You can't say hurtful things and think that it's okay. You know what I'm saying? You just can't do that. And that's how we was raised. You know what I'm saying? That's how you remember your mom and your daddy come in your room and see your room look like shit. And they'll be like, hey man, get your sorry ass up and clean that damn room, you sorry bastard. And you didn't think shit about it. So you took that same mindset, and you came at your children like that, and they got a problem with it. But we didn't adjust and say to ourselves, this is a different generation. Cat says, I don't want my kids to use social media. Cat, on the cool, when I go back and look at my children, sometimes I say to myself, giving them a cell phone at an early age was one of the biggest mistakes I made. You know what I'm saying? It was one of the biggest mistakes I made, just giving them a cell phone. I ain't gonna say about social media, but just a cell phone in general. You know what I'm saying? When I started looking at what some of the shit that they were looking up, you know, at 8, 9, 10 years old, I'm like, man, they should have been experiencing life, getting their ass outside, doing things kids supposed to be doing. You go to events nowadays, all you see 4, 5-year-old, they got their head down on the tablet. They got their head down on the phone. Man, we ain't used to do that shit. You used to have your ass outdoors playing. You was on a damn bike. Gamer said, I didn't get my kids a cell phone till 14. Yeah, see, mine had that shit in elementary. Cat said, maybe a cell phone with no internet. Yeah, because they need a cell phone for emergencies and shit, right, Cat? I get that aspect. You know what I'm saying? But I think, Gamer, man, we spoiled the shit out of our children. And now, to me, we are dealing with, you know what I'm saying? We dealing with that version of our child. And we, like I say, y'all, we got to adapt. We got to switch it up. I meet so many parents who say, I ain't adapting to shit. I ain't switching up shit. It is what it is. This is how I am. This is who I am. If you don't like it, you're not going to be in my life. Listen, player, your bitch ass going to be miserable. You're going to be miserable because you're stubborn right now. You're acting stubborn. You know you got some messed up ways. You know when you got some messed up ways. You know some of the shit that you be doing be foul. You know that shit. But we so old and stuck in our ways, we be like, man, I ain't switching up shit. I'm not changing. You know what I'm saying? Cass says, I would probably wait until high school. Yeah, I mean, here's the long and the short, Cat, to me. There's so much going on in the world. You want them to have a way to get in contact with you if an emergency pop up, right? Now, Cat, like what you said, I wouldn't want them to have so much access to the internet. I would want to kind of limit some of the access to the internet, especially like in elementary and shit. My kids think that I'm a money tree. Yeah, see, Cat said mine are 3 and 5. Hell yeah. Hey, Gamer, they all do. But Gamer, let me ask you something, man. Sometimes I look back and I say, ain't that what parents are supposed to do? But you know, I think that's where we messed up at too, because it needs to be a balance. It needs to be a balance knowing that your parents can help you and you know what I'm saying, that they can help you and say, you know what, if I ever need to go to somebody and get something, I can go to my parents, I can go to my dad, right? I can go to my mom, whatever. But there also needs to be a situation where we can't give them every damn thing. And I think that's what we did. We tried to give them every damn thing. And I see a lot of adult children nowadays that say, when my parents cut me off financially, that's when the dynamic of our relationship changed. That's when everything changed, right? Because they'd never been told no before. They'd never been told no before. So all of a sudden you're going to come in and say, hey, I've been giving you shit I've been giving you everything you want since you was 3, 4 years old. Now you 24 years old. And I'm saying, nah, I ain't paying your car note no more. I'm not doing that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Gamer says, yeah, but with their mom non-existent, they need extra help. See? So Gamer, for your situation, so their mom is not in their life. So you overcompensating, right? You doing the most. You mom, dad, you every damn thing. You need to come out, you like, man, I'm doing it all. I gotta do it all, right? And so now you ask yourself, like, how do I set boundaries to where I can show them some type of discipline and still let them know dad is there. Dad is gonna be there for you. I got your back, right? I got your back. And look, Gamer, and that's hard to explain that type of situation. I don't know how old your kids are, but it's hard to explain that to them and say, hey, I'm gonna be there for you, but we gotta have some type of boundaries. We need to have some type of discipline because I want you to grow up to be a strong young man, a strong young lady. You know what I'm saying? I want you to go. I don't want you to be spoiled and entitled. Kat says birthdays are like 2 gifts each from me and their dad. We don't want to spoil. 100%, Kat. 100%. But see, look, like, and Kat, that is great, right? That is phenomenal. They are 15 and 17. Okay. They 15 and 17 right now. So they in that teenage stage, finna get ready to start driving, asking to go places, you know, trying to figure out life. That's a tough age right now, Gamer. That is a tough age right now. And look, man, and look, hold on, I'm gonna give you look. Kudos to you. Kudos to you. Being a single parent is one of the hardest jobs on this planet Earth. I don't think single parents get enough recognition. Kudos to you. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to you. I'm gonna tell you something, gang. One of my homeboys, and I was so proud of him for doing this. This might upset some people, but I don't give a damn. He put his ex-wife on child support. I was so happy for that man. I was so happy. He had raised his boys since they were like 10 years old. And the mom went, yeah, exactly. The mom wasn't in their life, right? So he raised them. And he was like, man, you know what? The mom had a great job. He was like, man, I'm gonna put her ass on child support. And I looked at him, I said, bro, you supposed to. Make her help you out. You supposed to. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to you first and foremost for stepping up, doing your job that you're supposed to be doing. You handling business, right? And ain't a whole lot of men can do that. There's not a whole lot of men that can raise their child by themselves. And I don't think men get applauded enough for that. You know what I'm saying? For some odd reason, it seems like to me a lot of people look at as dads as just one of those, he's just a dad. No, I'm way more than just a dad. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the mama passed away when they were 2 and 4. Oh, gamer. Passed away when they were 2 and 4. So that's all they know is you. That's all they know is you. Man, bro. That is, listen, you doing a phenomenal job, man. Look, kudos to you. You are doing a phenomenal job. Hey, let me ask you a question. Have you started back getting to like dating? Are you married? What's your current situation? Or are you just concentrating on your kids? Let me know that. You know what I mean? Let me know that. Because look, you know, one thing I try to tell parents all the time, man, we get caught up in raising our children. And that's rightfully so. That's the most important part of a parent, right? Is raising your children. But also make sure you're taking care of yourself mentally. All right, make sure you're taking care of yourself mentally. Because I see so many parents, they isolate themselves and say, all I'm doing is concentrating on my children. All I'm doing is concentrating on my children, and they forget who they are. You know what I mean, gamer? So you got to make sure you still time to where you get back to enjoying your life again. You know what I'm saying? Because those kids need that. They need to see their dad happy. You know what I'm saying? One thing we got to understand about kids, they very, very intelligent and very, very smart. They know when we going through some shit. They know when mom and daddy are struggling. You know what I'm saying? They know that aspect of it. So my thing is to you, like I said, I don't know your situation fully, but if you are, kudos to you. If not, we finna get to that point. You know what I'm saying? We got to get to that point, man. So, you know, it's hard though, man. Like I say, being a single parent is one of the hardest jobs in the world, man. They don't get enough recognition. They do not get enough recognition, man. And single parenting, especially nowadays, right? Especially nowadays. It's never been easy, but I can't even imagine nowadays doing it on your own, right? Doing everything on your own. But like I say, man, I wanted to ask you guys a question tonight, man. Do you guys think that therapists have a major role in estrangement? Do y'all think they have a major role in estrangement, or do you think it's just something that the media has exploited again and put out there and saying, hey, this is what's going on right now, but it's a one-off type situation, right? It's a one-off type situation. I know a lot of therapists who are in it just to make a quick dollar. You know what I mean? Just to make a quick dollar. They don't give a damn. Look, you got to understand something, man. A therapist's job is for you to keep coming back and keep getting that paycheck, right? Let's keep it funky. That's their job. That's what they want to do. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some great therapists. I had a great therapist, but I had to go through a few shitty ones to get to the good one. You know what I mean? I personally have not had that experience with therapists. Yeah, so you got a good therapist. You know what I'm saying? I had to go through a few shitty ones to get to a good one, because, you know, some therapists, Cat, the first thing they want to do is put you on some type of medication. Like, we ain't even started working on the problem yet. Shit, you already trying to put me on the drugs. We ain't even worked on the problem yet. You don't even know my middle name. They already trying to get you, go on, take this pill and you'll be happy in a couple of days. You know what I mean, Cat? So, you know, it's just one of those things, man, that I can see it going both ways. Like I say, I think a lot of us, Gen X, Gen Z, Gen Y, whatever the hell it is, we need therapy. We need to get into therapy. A lot of us do not want to go that aspect. We think we know it damn all and we ain't trying to learn no new tricks. Bullshit. Your ass need to learn some new tricks, right? You need to learn some new tricks. You need to take care of yourself better physically and mentally. A lot of us are still dealing with trauma that we've had from our upbringing. We've had some trauma. A lot of that shit got swept under rugs. Think about something, y'all. If you 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, you know damn well coming up, you were raised in some type of situation in the house where it was something going on that you were not allowed to talk about. Y'all remember that? They swept shit under the rug. You had the one cousin who never came around, never really spoke, and no one said anything about it. They just swept that shit under the rug. That is trauma that you still hiding and holding on to this day. That is still trauma that you holding on to this day. Kat says, my parents will not go to therapy. Yeah, a lot of parents are like that. A lot of parents are like that, Kat. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted Quagmire to get a crack at Lois. Come on, man. That is pretty funny though. But you know, a lot of therapists are you know, are like that. A lot of parents are like that, Kat. They so set in their ways. They old school. They stubborn. They not gonna do that. They gonna be like, you know what? We not doing no therapy. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I can figure it out on my own. And they dealing with a lot of trauma and a lot of issues from their past. And they pass that trauma and those issues over to their children. And a lot of children are being raised by these parents who are struggling on the inside. And they gotta put on that face. They gotta go out here in this world and try to pretend like everything is okay, right? Everything is okay. And I say it all the time, man, as parents. That's why I tell people, man, you can't judge parents. You know what I'm saying? You can't judge parents until you're in their shoes. You're dealing with what they're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with this aspect because it's hard for us parents to admit when we're wrong, right? Being vulnerable as a parent is hard to do. It's so hard. It's hard when your children tell you, hey, that shit that you pulled over there, or when you said that, man, that upset me. That hurt my feelings. It's hard for a parent to hear that. It's hard for us to agree or disagree on something like that, right? Because we'll be like, man, I didn't mean it that way. Well, damn it, they took it that way. And don't get me wrong, these bastards are sensitive. Y'all know I always tell you. The sensitive damn generation I ever seen in my life. They is sensitive. Tissue paper soft. Know what I'm saying? Tissue paper soft. But we hardcore. We were brought up in a time frame where you had to be hardcore. You had to be hardcore. I guarantee you, there's some parents on this live right now that they have never heard their parents tell them that they love them. There are parents on this live right now who have never heard their parents tell them that they love them. Unless if they were like at the the end of the road, something was going on like that, they might have heard that type of stuff. But a lot of parents in our generation never heard that from their parents. Never felt love from their parents. So what happens? Never felt love from their parents. Now all of a sudden you have children. You're trying to manage these children, manage your relationship with your husband or your wife, learn how to be affectionate. Oh, y'all know how many people don't know how to be affectionate? Like they don't like touch. They don't like feel. They don't like that shit, right? They don't like none of that. They just like, man, you do your thing, I do my thing, and damn it, we together, right? But that's because they've never had their parents tell them, man, I love you. I'm proud of you. Show them affection. And so what goes on, that pattern keeps going on down the family tree. Keeps going on down the family tree. Keeps going on down. And we think everything is okay. We think everything is okay. We don't want to go to therapy. We don't want to talk about it. We just want to live our lives the way it is and keep it moving. That's it. We just want to live our lives and keep it moving, act like everything is fine. And we sit in our own thoughts and wonder why we so miserable. We wonder why we so miserable, right? And like, look, and on adult children, let me tell you something. I say it all the time, man. A lot of y'all are going to feel some of the pain that your parents are going through right now. For parents, like I said earlier, for us raising you, we thought we were doing the best that we possibly could. There's no manual on parenting. You learn as you go. And that's why I try to tell adult children who parent wants to change, who wants to be in their life, who is willing to do the work. Man, give them some grace. Give them some grace. Damn it, you can't keep your foot on their neck when they trying. When they trying. Some of y'all don't give a damn though. Shit, y'all be like, it is what it is. Y'all are one of the most heartless generations that I've ever dealt with. I mean heartless. Y'all don't give a damn. Once they made their bed, y'all be done with it. Like y'all don't come back, man. I be getting some messages from adult children. They be going fuck off. Like on the deep end off. Talking about, like, hey, on a whole nother level, something happened, I wouldn't even give a damn. That's hard. And I tell y'all, man, for you to feel like that, that tells me you haven't healed. You have not healed. For you to feel like that towards your parent, you have not healed. You know what I'm saying? That's what that tells me. You have to heal so you can start forgiving and moving on. Not for them, for yourself. For yourself. And you have to start asking yourself real deal questions. Ask yourself real deal questions, right? Say to yourself, was I really, really abused the way in my mind I feel like I was, right? Mentally abused, you know what I'm saying? Was my parents really just doing me that bad? Or am I making something bigger than what it actually is? And do my parents really understand? Do they really understand how some of their words harm and hurt me? Right? Do they really understand? And I want you to dig deep when you think about that. Right? Don't take your feelings out of it. Dig deep when you say about that. I had a child the other day reached out to me, and he said he gave his mother grace. He gave his mother grace because he went back and he saw how she was raised. So then it made him understand why his mother was the way that she was. He said it changed the whole dynamic of his relationship. It changed everything. So he took his mom as always being angry, always being mad. You always mad, you always angry. But he said when he went back and he did the work and he looked at the way that she was raised, the things that she had been through, he understood. He understood completely. And he was like, damn, I've been mad at my mama all this time and I never understood how she was raised, the trauma that she dealt with, things that she had been through. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot more. Like I say, parents, understand if you've been through trauma, you've been through things, man, work on yourself. Work on yourself, get some help, do the work, not for your adult child to come back, for you to move forward and say to yourself, I want to be a better person. I want to be a better person. I don't give a damn about what nobody else want me to do. I want to be a better person, right? So that's what I tell parents all the time, man. You have to work on yourself, do the work for you. You guys sit around and you say to yourself, I am who I am. I ain't changing. I'm not switching it up. I'm never going to switch it up. What you see is what you get. And you're going to be miserable. You're going to be miserable. And don't sit around and act like the shit don't bother you, because I know it do. When you're estranged from your child, that shit bothers the shit out of you. You'll get to a point where it don't bother you as much, but it bothered the shit out of you. It bothered me. I keep it real with you. It bothered me. It bothered the shit out of me. I like having conversations. I like talking to mine. I like being in their lives. It bothered the shit out of me. But I had to look deep and ask myself, what could I work on? What can I change? Going to therapy helped me in that aspect. Let me know all my shortcomings. Let me know, hey, brother, a lot of the ways that you were brought up, some of the things you think were right, the way that you speak to people, things of that nature, man, that shit ain't cool. That shit ain't cool. And I know you got that tough skin, that outer skin, you tough, right? And you can deal with it. But I'm being real with you. That shit ain't cool. And I had to learn that, man. And like I said, I had to be vulnerable. I had to open up. You know what I'm saying? I had to open up. I had to take responsibility for some of the things I said. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things I said. Like I say, ain't no perfect parents out here. Ain't nobody perfect. No one's perfect, man. We just trying to learn, get better, and I challenge parents to do that on the day-to-day. I challenge you to do that. Try to learn and try to get better for you. That's my biggest thing. Worried about you getting better. That's it. Listen, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with your boy tonight, man. I appreciate everybody came on and left me some chats, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. Like I say, my name is Aaron. I go by the name of Aaron Real Talk, man. I do lives on Tuesdays and Thursdays on YouTube and TikTok. So y'all come and lock in with your boy, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all enjoy